I will make sure that I get my news coverage from a reliable source.
Hey players, good morning players, good morning players, all players, hey players, Musty, Marjorie, Frumpy Duck. This is incitement of an insurrection. They suspended her without explanation. This witness wasn't shown on camera because she was underage, and a spokesperson for Mayor Jacob Fry said to the motherfucking Duck, who said the mariachi band being placed outside of his house. This is Double D Momo, reporter for the Black Green News, where I'm black and the news is always accurate. Player, grab your teacup. It's time for Real Tea with Double D. Hey players, welcome to the Real Tea with Double D. Of course, I am Double D, and we are on the GSMC podcasting network. So excited to be with you all tonight to spill some real tea. So I hope you got your teacups, honey, because it's time to get real like Holyfield. I just came up with that on the fly. Was that funny? Damn, I ain't got nobody to talk to. Okay. I'm so used to going live on YouTube and all that. Well, I am. I just want to let you all know before I start the podcast that I will be recording the first part of the podcast with my family on YouTube and my family on Facebook. They always come out and support me, so I wanted to give them an opportunity. I have recorded live on TikTok before, so I just wanted to give you all an opportunity to kind of hear what goes on with the podcast and also get a taste of what you will be seeing, well, what you will be hearing when you go and check out the podcast. It is available on Apple and Spotify, and where all podcasts are available. You can just search up The Real Tea with Double D, and I will be there with my teal background and my cute little animation by Charlotte. So, yeah, so we have our YouTube fam and our Facebook fam with us tonight. So I'm so glad to see you all here. Now, I won't be responding too much because, again, I am recording for my podcast. So now I'm going to say hello to you guys, and now I'm going to get to the real tea. Oh, you guys, we got a lot of stuff that's going on here today, a lot of things to unpack. The biggest news of the day, well, there's a couple of big news that we had that came out of the day. But the first thing I want to start out with is COVID and what is going on with COVID. I know that everyone should be tired of hearing about COVID, but honestly, we're into the thick of it, honey. So that's really the big deal about a big deal with everything right now is COVID. And it's unfortunate that we are still here, you know, even after this vaccine was developed and it has shown and proved to be very effective. We are still in the thick of the pandemic. I don't know when people say that the pandemic is over. I'm just kind of like, how? You know, because things are just really getting out of hand. And with these new numbers that I'm about to spill to you all, you'll understand exactly why I say that. So as of right now, according to the CDC, there are 40 million COVID cases in the United States of America alone. Okay. Again, I'll say that again. 40 million cases. I remember back in 2020, and when they said we were in the millions of cases, I really thought that this has got to be a joke. But this should really be a wake-up call for people that we now have 40 million cases of COVID, and that this Delta variant is just that contagious. Because I'm going to give you some more tea on that, is the fact that it's spreading the fastest among children. And I want to reflect back to 2020, where when the pandemic first started, they closed schools down. So children weren't getting affected as much. And also, not only did they close schools down, but the Delta variant. So it was not as contagious as it is. Children made up 251,781 cases in 1 week. 1 week. Children made up 251,781 cases of COVID. We have whole school districts that are shutting down in the state of Florida, in the state of Texas. We have 13, I believe. Yes, 13 in Florida. 13 Miami-Dade school employees died in mid-August. Um, Among these 13 were 4 teachers, 1 security monitor, 1 cafeteria worker, and 7 school bus drivers. And according to the Teachers of Dade president, they were all unvaccinated. Did you hear me? Sip some tea. I'm gonna grab mine real quick. Yes, honey, it's true. So with all of this coming down, and um, President Biden is getting so much pushback. There's so much misinformation regarding COVID, the COVID vaccine. There's so much misinformation. President Biden decided to bring the hammer down today, and he had a special message. He had a speech today, and he had a special message that he wanted to say to unvaccinated Americans. And I would like for you all to check that out.
My message to unvaccinated Americans is this. What more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval. Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us. So please do the right thing. But just don't take it from me. Listen to the voices of unvaccinated Americans who are lying in hospital beds, taking their final breath saying, if only I'd gotten vaccinated. If only. It's a tragedy. Please don't let it become yours.
Listening to him say that, and I was moved, and I am a vaccinated American, to listen and read some of the stories of people that are passing away from COVID when it could be preventable if they would get vaccinated. Sometimes it touches my heart in those instances because, it's so much misinformation out there. Some people can't really decipher the real from the fake. Some people really don't have the wherewithal to do their own research, so they just go off of what he say, she say. I mean, we see that a lot in this world, and it's costing people their lives, the misinformation that's going around. Um, so not only did President Biden have that to say, he also spoke to these governors that are giving so much pushback regarding teachers, regarding school boards wanting to mandate masks. Um, he spoke to them as well and said that any teacher or any school that wants to have a mask mandate to try to protect students, he supports them wholeheartedly. He said that their salaries, and he said this before, that their salaries will be covered if they decide to remove their funding. So he did say that he stands behind school boards, schools, and teachers that want to have a mask mandate and enforce it. So, and he will not allow them to go without being paid. And, he has a plan for that, and I do believe him. Also, in this speech that he had today, he put down some, I would say, put in place some ways to encourage people to get vaccinated. I would call them mandates almost. Um, some ways to get people vaccinated, sort of like mandates. And the first one was from the TSA. So the TSA will double fines for first-time offenders who fail to wear masks on buses and in public travel. He said that repeated offenders could face up to $3,000 under President Biden's plan. And also, um, Biden also criticized those travelers that do not want to wear masks, because there's all types of people that ride public transportation, elderly people that are vaccinated, little babies and things that you're putting at risk, and you're in such close quarters when you're riding a bus. So why not wear a mask? So he did do that today. He also called on entertainment venues like sports arenas, large concert halls, and others to require the patrons to have to be vaccinated and show negative a negative COVID test in order to enter that area. I agree with that 100%. I feel like he should have been done something like that. And honestly, I think he's going to have to go further to get a lot of these venues to comply. So I feel like that is a really good thing. Now, this one was uh, great to me as well, where he said that schools, President Biden's administration will require teachers and staff in Head Start programs, Department of Defense schools, and bureaus of Indian education operated schools. They will have to be vaccinated. Okay. And he said that he will call on all states to adopt vaccine requirements for school employees. So that is another thing that he did. Um, I think that these are a step in the right direction. I feel like he's going to have to probably go a step further, but I feel like it's a step in the right direction. And one thing that we'll be talking about, that I'll be talking about tomorrow on Political Tea Talk, if you guys plan to join me on there tomorrow at 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, and 2 o'clock Pacific, is we're going to be talking about whether we feel like President Biden, or if it is constitutional, where they need to mandate vaccinations, where make it where you have to have it. So that's something that we'll be talking about tomorrow on Political Tea Talk. There was one more that he did. He said the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services will require COVID-19 vaccinations for workers in most healthcare facilities that receive Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements from hospitals, including dialysis centers, ambulance services, surgical centers, and home health agencies. That's important to me that they do that as well. So he brought the hammer down today in trying to, get people to get vaccinated, because hell, you won't be, in a little bit, you won't be able to find anywhere to work without it. So I believe that that was very important. I think that that was something that he needed to do. It's unfortunate that he has to do it, but these people aren't doing it on their own. Only 52% of Americans are vaccinated, fully vaccinated at this point. 52%. We'll never get to herd immunity at this rate. It is ridiculous to me that we won't get to herd immunity at this rate, because people are silly enough to do things like take ivermectin. And I'm not talking about the prescription. I'm literally talking about the kind that you would give to your 500, 600-pound horse, or your sheep, or your dog for a parasite. I think that it's ridiculous that you will do that, but you refuse to take a vaccine. I'm going to tell you again what I've always said. If you feel like the government is doing something to track you, you're not that important. If they wanted to find you, whatever you're listening to me right now on is what they're going to use to find you. Okay? If you think that they're trying to kill you, that's the opposite. They wouldn't do anything if they were trying to kill you. Okay? They would do absolutely nothing if they were trying to take your life with the vaccine. They don't want to take your life, honey. They want your ass to work. Okay? They want that tax money. Do you really think that these people are going to develop something to kill off so many Americans, and they won't be able to get any of that labor, and then on top of that, give them $600 or $1,200 or whatever to live? No, they don't want to do that. They want your ass to get vaccinated so you can get back to work. And this is what President Biden told you today, that in order for you to work, you will need to be vaccinated. And we're also going to protect our children from you asshats that refuse to get vaccinated. And I must say, I'm down with it. I feel like he could have went a step further in what he did, honestly. Um, I don't know if it's constitutional or not. I mean, if they can make us get if they can make these children get vaccinations for polio and chicken pox and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they can find a way to make it to where it's mandatory that you get vaccinated for COVID, since it's such a highly contagious disease that affects people in so many different ways. But I digress. I saw a meme, and no, I'm going to say one more thing. I saw a meme earlier where people were complaining. It was "do not comply" that was trending on Twitter, and on this meme, there was like, they want you to get vaccinated from something that has a 99.9% death rate. They want you to get vaccinated in children, in elderly. You're like, it was like 99% on everything. Excuse me, 99% survival rate is what it was. They want your ass to get vaccinated from chickenpox too. And you know what that does? The only thing that does is put some scars on your skin. They want you to get vaccinated from that too. You know why? Because it's highly contagious. You spreading that shit around, and also everyone doesn't react the same to chickenpox. Some people get chickenpox and they get fevers and they fucking die. So, I just think that it's important, and I think that he did a very good job with that. I'll also speak about the fact that Ron DeSantis, although President Biden has done this, Ron DeSantis is still on his tirade. As we remember, a few days ago, Judge Cooper actually ruled that the schools could impose mask mandates in the schools, okay? This was done a couple of days ago. Dumbass Ron DeSantis has decided to file an emergency appeal, saying that he wants this reversed because he feels like on appeal he will win. So that's the reason why he wants this reversed. No answer has been said at this time, but he said that he feels like Judge Cooper's ruling overreached, and that the state's Parents' Bill of Rights does not permit him or the Florida Department of Education to have school districts having mask mandates. That's what he said. So he's still on his fucking bullshit. And also, Governor Kristi Noems in South Dakota actually vowed that she will stop any type of testing that President Biden wants to do. Said she's looking into stopping that. Any kind of mandates that he wants to put down, she's looking into stopping that. So anything that President Biden does, they are pushing back on him. And I don't know if this is, I know part of it is to push their political agenda, but I don't think that and I think that another part of it is that they think that they're making President Biden look bad. Because if you notice, Greg Abbott also wants to run for president. Ron DeSantis wants to run for president. So these are two people that want to make sure that President Biden doesn't have a good presidency. So they're doing every fucking thing that they possibly can to make COVID be so bad on him, because that's what actually killed Frumpy Dump's presidency. It wasn't the fact that he was racist. It was the fact that he failed at COVID. For most people, the reason why they didn't vote for his ass. That racist shit didn't matter to a lot of people. What really mattered to him is the way Frumpy Dump failed at COVID, and all these people died from it, and he did absolutely nothing. That's what really mattered to a lot of people. So, yeah. Now we're going to take a break right here, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing a few other things regarding the vaccination statuses, what the states are doing in regards to vaccination, and also we're going to be discussing the FBI released a video of the bomber that placed the bomb outside of the Democrat convention center in Washington, and they actually released a video of that, hoping that they will be able to find this person. And I will also let you know that at the end of the show, we will be having a sake bomb. Jen Psaki will be making an appearance. And also Musty Marjorie will be making an appearance at the end of the show. So make sure y'all stick with us. And thank you to everyone on YouTube that is listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. And Facebook, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And podcast, we'll be right back with the Real Tea with Double D after this.